This is the Extra Point Podcast from Arizona's Family.
All right, well, we're back for week 2, New York Knicks picks. The headline here, I'm not wearing concrete shoes, so we're back. We did good. You called it, man. The Seahawks.
We live to chat another day, right? No Sicilian messages for you. No knocks on your door on Tuesday night. Everyone's a winner this week, right?
Why? How did you know the Seahawks were going to do that to the Cardinals?
Well, look, I mentioned it last week. The profile of the Cardinals being the last team in the NFL in yards per play, on offense, and passing yards per attempt. It's just not the profile of a team that you want to back as a road favorite. Look, if they were getting 7.5 points, I wouldn't have taken them, but I wouldn't have taken the Seahawks, obviously. But look, when you can get a dog that leads the whole game and wins by double digits, that's a nice play right there. By the way, the nice thing about playing the dogs and the unders, you start off a winner, you just got to hold on. When you play the favorite on the over, you need something to happen for your play to come in. So it's kind of a nice feeling. I'm a dog player myself. I'm more of an under player, but it's a little bit of a different take. Most people, it's counterintuitive. They want to take the better team. They want to take the favorite. Me, I'd prefer to take the points.
So you're not taking the guy with the brass knuckles then?
No. I'm taking the points. I'm taking the points, and I'm taking the cannolis.
Did you celebrate with a cannoli or two?
A cannoli, a tiramisu, and a little cup of espresso with a little Zambuca in it. That's how we do it in New York.
All right, well, we turn our attention pretty quick here to Thursday Night Football. Not a whole lot of time to celebrate for the Cardinals. Yeah. Who do you like Thursday when the New Orleans Saints come to Glendale?
Well, here's the deal. Look. This NFL Thursday night action, it's fun for us to watch. It's fun for us to handicap and to play, but it's really a difficult spot for these teams, let's be honest. I mean, let's look at Arizona, for instance. Okay, so they get Nuke Hopkins back, but 72 hours later they're playing, right? They just make this trade for Robbie Anderson. They don't even have till Sunday to get acquainted. We're out there Thursday night. Injuries, so on and so forth. Now you look at the Saints. They're dealing with their starting cornerback, Pro Bowler, Marshawn Lattimore. He's injured. Maybe if it was a Sunday game, he'd be healthy and be back. He probably won't be playing Thursday. You got their whole wide receiver core, Olave, Mike Thomas, and Landry, Jarvis Landry, all banged up. So for a handicapper, it's hard to cap this game because who's playing? The Saints have run the ball well this year. A lot of that's been Taysom Hill, the little trickeration going on there. So, but now it's like the cat's out of the bag. It's not a surprise anymore. The Cardinals know who Taysom Hill is. They're expecting that. So I would probably lean towards the home team on this short Thursday night, and it's a short spread. It's -1.5. I'll do a little more digging. I'll have a pick because the Thursday night games I like to give picks on. So I'll have the pick on my Twitter account, my TikTok account. I'm probably leaning Cardinals. I just want to do a little more digging. It's a tough spot for these teams. I tell you, that turnaround, that's a tough one.
And as far as points go in the Thursday night games, I mean, we've seen some bad football this year.
Exactly.
Are you leaning more on the side of the unders?
Yeah, well, that's a great point you pick up because the unders have been gold for all these primetime games. The Monday Night Football, you had Denver and the Chargers. I mean, the Chargers, you think high scoring. The Bolts, Lightning, right? Unders, 19-16 in overtime. The unders have been gold. I personally have a hard time losing on totals because both teams come out looking to win, right? But not all teams come out looking to score a lot of points or score a few points. So I always feel like I'm on the side of the coach and the players if I'm picking a side, not so much on the total. But the unders have been money. I'm just afraid you want to be ahead of the curve. You don't want to be behind the curve. So if they start bringing down these totals, now it's like you're fighting against the bookmaker. One thing I was surprised, though, this Cardinals-Saints total, and you know the Cardinals offense has been struggling, 44.5. It opened at 45. That's a lot of points still. I was surprised. The reason why, I believe, is because the Saints, they just played a 30-26 game. The week before, they played a 39-32 game. The week before that, they played a 28-25 game. Those are high-scoring games. But wait, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, they're not lining up this Thursday. So that 30-26 game Sunday, the week before, the Seahawks, we already discussed how good of an offensive team they've been this year, how poor defensively, that lends to high-scoring games. And the week before that, Minnesota Vikings, Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook, not a great defense. So I think the total's a little high. I would lean under. I'm just afraid you're getting on the train a little late, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, and the Red Rifle, Andy Dalton, throw out the point spreads whenever he gets in the mix.
Now that's a scary proposition in its own right. I mean, let's be honest. That's why I'm leaning the Cardinals here. There's a lot going against the Saints on a short week as well. But as you know, new faces in new places. I mean, even DeAndre Hopkins, yeah, he's been there, but the timing, the chemistry this year right now, he hasn't practiced all year, right? I mean, since the beginning of the season started, since the suspension kicked in. Now you have Robbie Anderson, Justin Pugh, the offensive lineman's injured now. You have all these new faces in new places. It's hard to turn it around on a short week, but I do lean Arizona this week. I'd lean the under as well. You can always wait for live in-game betting as well, but because that -1.5 is kind of a weird place to be. But I would lean the home team this Thursday night.
All right, and as far as the NFC West goes, we got another. It's a log jam there. The Niners are a team that seem like they could break out. What are you feeling as far as the Niners go this week against the Chiefs?
Yeah, this is the big game this week, right? Niners Chiefs. Funny, Chiefs last week they played a rematch of the great playoff game from last year with the Bills. This is a rematch of the Super Bowl from 3 years ago. This is the marquee game this week. Now, in normal circumstances, the 49ers catching points at home, I would love that. Here's the problem with the 49ers, though. Their starting cornerback 2 weeks ago, Mosley, injured, out for the year. Now their other starting cornerback, Tre'Davious Ward, who has 8 PBUs on the season, been playing great. He got injured in the Atlanta game. We don't know if he's playing, all right? Now you have Jimmy Ward's been injured all year. And then Hufanga, the safety who looks like Polamalu and even better, plays like Polamalu, he might be out because he got a concussion in the game. He passed protocol in the game and after the game, but the day after, he didn't pass protocol. And now we know with the NFL now, with the concussion scenario, he might not be playing. So think about it. You have a whole brand new secondary against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Are you kidding me? Could you ask for a worse scenario? Now, Patrick Mahomes, there's some great angles with him. He is 13-3-1 when he's a favorite of 3 points or less or an underdog. Last week was that scenario, and he lost, okay? But if you think about the season, how the season started versus Arizona, they were a bigger favorite, about 6-point favorite. That's when you would want to play against them. They did cover that game, but a 4.5-point favorite over the Chargers, they didn't cover. 6-point favorite against the Colts, they didn't cover. Last week, they were the dog, but when they were the dog versus Tampa Bay, they covered. You want to take Kansas City when they're a short favorite to an underdog. Right now, they're only laying 3 points. I'd assume that line's going to go up. We'll have more about it later in the week, but that's a game where if San Francisco is healthy, I would love to take the 49ers. They're playing great ball. They even have injuries on their offensive line. Trent Williams is injured, the left tackle. Now McGlinchey, their right tackle. I mean, who's out there playing? It's ridiculous. So, and against Patrick Mahomes, that's not the fight you want to fight, right? So I'm leaning Kansas City, but we have to wait and see about these injuries. If these guys come back, I'll take a look at the 49ers.
All right, suit Ronnie Lott up for that one.
They would love to have him at this point. And Polamalu.
And I wonder if Kansas City, if they're just not doing what they've done in the past, if that's a Tyreek Hill effect.
Yeah, well, you know, they are kind of more matriculating the ball down the field as opposed to the big plays. Last game, Juju Smith-Schuster actually started to get off. Their running game's been, it's like rush hour traffic. It's stuck and not going anywhere. You know, that running game has been very pedestrian. But Mahomes is still Mahomes, and in this day and age, where the franchise quarterback, it's just a premium. When you have Mahomes on a short spread like that, it's almost an auto play.
All right, let's talk a little college ball, and you're burning on one out west. You got a big one this week between two Pac-12 teams going head to head.
Yeah, this is a great game, right? UCLA at Oregon. Both teams score about 40 points a game. The quarterbacks in this game, check this out. Chip Kelly, I mean, he's been there for a little while now. He's not a new coach anymore. It's his 5th season. He got there in 2018. You know who his starting quarterback was in his first game as a coach for UCLA? Thompson Robinson, DTR. Okay? I mean, he's
been there forever.
This is his 5th year, right? Now, what's funny is this. Bo Nix, okay? He's been around a while, too. When he was a freshman, the first game he ever started ever, his freshman year in 2019, guess who he went up against? Oregon. Guess who was the quarterback for Oregon there? Justin Herbert. That's how long he's been in college football. I don't even consider Justin Herbert a young quarterback in the NFL anymore. That's how long Bo Nix has been around. But hey, that's why these teams are scoring 40 points a game. I just think UCLA, okay, so they've already played Washington. They beat them. They've already played Utah. They beat them. Oregon's kind of played the lightweights of the Pac-12 so far. Stanford, who Arizona State's playing this week. Washington State, not Washington, and Arizona. I feel as if UCLA has played the better competition so far in conference. They're averaging about 40 points a game, and now you're going to give them 6 points on the spread? Seems like a no-brainer. I want to dig in a little more. It's still early in the week. I like to, tie up all those loose ends, but I'm leaning UCLA plus the points this week. To me, you get a team that averages 40 points a game, and then you give them 6 on top of that. That sounds like a bet I'd like to make.
And I wonder, as far as Arizona State goes, if getting a little time off is gonna make them make people believers. This week against Stanford, a team that's really
depends what they do in that time off. Did they hang out in those hot tubs out at in Tempe? But look, you're right. That they're coming off a nice win versus Washington. They get the week off. Stanford starting to play a little better. Stanford is interesting. They started out top heavy with their schedule, okay? USC, then at Washington and at Oregon. Are you kidding me? It's like 27 Yankees you're facing. I mean, who scheduled that, right? They played real well against Oregon State. Should have won. They were up with 24 seconds left. The guy made a miracle catch along the sidelines. The safety gave up on the play because he's like, no way this guy's going to make this catch. Turns and runs down the sideline for a touchdown. Then they win at Notre Dame last week. So Stanford's starting to play a little better. Their quarterback, he's an NFL caliber guy. But you're right. Arizona State coming off a nice win versus Washington. Quality team, then getting that week off. Maybe they can figure some things out. I mean, it's intriguing. You're at that point, that pivot in the season where you can go one way or the other. And they're there. Both teams, quite honestly, are right there.
All right. And I know you got a busy week of appointments, right? You got appointments. You got to go see some guys.
I got to go knock on some doors, right? Listen, I'm just running down to the bodega, grab a couple of Lucy's and a 40 dog, and I'm fine.
Well, we know a guy on the inside. He's our guy, New York Knicks Picks. Thanks for joining us, and I hope to see you next week.
Sounds good. Hey, listen, no matter where you go, what you do, when in doubt, take those points.
The Extra Point Podcast is a production of 3TV, CBS 5, and azfamily.com in Phoenix, Arizona.